Hello and welcome everyone inside the campus of UC Riverside at SRC Arena. We bring you the opener of the Women's Basketball Invitational in UCR's first trip here in the postseason of the WBI. The Highlanders of UCR tangle the Aggies of Utah State. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham on hand for the opening round of this postseason play in a matchup of two teams that are looking very strong down the stretch of this year. It should be a fantastic matchup. And Jeff, the Highlanders are back in the postseason again, looking very strong.
Well, I'll tell you what, they are looking good, and it's great for this UC Riverside program. Only one graduating senior, that is DeKer Gray. The rest of these young ladies will be back next year, and this is a great stepping stone for this young program. Remember, Coach John Margaritis, this is his 7th time in postseason play. He's made it to the big dance 3 times, but this is the first time in the WBI tournament. Very good game, very good team here from UC Riverside.
The prestigious Women's Basketball Invitational features 16 of the premier programs in mid-major NCAA basketball, UCR and Utah State tonight. It features the Mountain West, of course, but the MAC, the Mid-American Conference, also we see the Western Athletic Conference. We see some of the household names across the WBI, and for UCR, they have 3 games separating them between the championship coming up in a couple weeks. The Highlanders begin tonight against a strong opponent, Utah State.
Yeah, Utah State coming out of the Mountain West Conference. They've had a couple of common opponents, and that is Utah State lost to Long Beach State, actually by 2 back in December, and UC Riverside had handled Long Beach State twice very, very easily, handily, but their only other common opponent was number 3 ranked University of Oregon. Both teams suffered major defeats there, but I think tonight this will be a very, very fairly evenly matched team with Utah State coming in at 10-8 in a very good Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, when looking at the preseason schedule, I almost was confused what team I'm looking at, UCR and Utah State, as both teams come in, both with 15 losses, 16 wins for Utah State, 17 wins for UC Riverside. Both clubs play strong defense, and despite the Highlanders dealing with a bit of the injury bug down the stretch of the regular season, both teams have some powerhouse scores that can light up the scoreboard as well.
Yeah, in fact, we're talking about UC Riverside as Janan Otto, their playmaker, the redshirt junior out of Victorville, the 2-time Big West Player of the Week this season, is going to be out with an ankle injury. She's been out the last 5 games for the Highlanders, but a lot of these players are going to pick it up, especially number 20, this lone senior of the group, Malou DeKer Gray, who has really caught fire as of late.
Should be an intriguing matchup. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham, simulcast tonight on Riverside TV and also on Big West TV. Glad you're with us at the SRC Arena in Riverside, California. Without further ado, let's look at tonight's starting lineups. First for the visitors from Logan, Utah, in the Utah State Aggies. The starting 5 includes West Gorman in the backcourt, joined by Brewster, with Bassett and Duffusy manning the low post. And as for UC Riverside, their 5 is Awodo, Eaton, Cooper, DeKer Gray, and Niago. UC Riverside in their all whites, and Utah State from up the road in Logan, Utah, in their dark blues. To tip for the Aggies is Haley Bassett at the center circle for Utah State, and Marina Awodo of UC Riverside. John Margaritis in his 7th trip to the postseason for UCR, and the Highlanders in their first appearance of the WBI win the tip. We are underway. Bad pass and a turnover taken by Steph Gorman of the Aggies. Transition for Elijah West. Now the pocket pass, she dishes to Brewster, who flips it in, and Utah State scores the first points of the NCAA postseason for UCR and Utah State.
Yeah, Utah State going to show a lot of transition offense here. Look, they start off in a man-to-man press full court here, and they're going to continue to do so in a half-court setting.
Backdoor pass towards DeKer Gray, who missed the shot. And the rebound's pulled in by one of the terrific rebounders in the history of not just this program, but at NCAA basketball, and Shannon Duffusy. She wears number 5 for Utah State and should be a force today, and has been not only one of the best rebounders, but she's got another year to go as Duffusy grabs inside.
Averaging a double-double. She's averaging 15.5 points, 10.5 boards, shooting nearly 44% from the field. A very, very dominant player. one of the Australian connection here. There's 5 Australians for Utah State and 1 out of Greece. So it's an UN of basketball here tonight.
Well, we've raved about the recruiting for UCR, but Utah State, they don't mind going far and wide to find the premier talents in NCAA basketball. Shannon Duffy, another display of it, as she snuck through and now is a member of the Aggies and set a school record with 18 double-doubles this year. Could have another one before this game is over. A 2-0 lead for Utah State just over a minute into the game. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham, the WBI. Shot clock at 2 as Eaton drives, lost the ball, shot clock violation. The Highlanders pass, but sometimes would you say they overpass?
Yeah, they're at times, just because they get so many assists. I think when you lose your leading scorer like Janet Otto, people have to pick up the pieces, and sometimes you have a tendency to overpass in those game situations.
Certainly a big loss, Janet Otto, transfer from New Mexico, who has been a force in the Big West, averaging 15 and 7 with 3.5 assists a game, good for 8th in the league. She is out, but UC Riverside still managed a solid run in the Big West tournament without her. The Highlanders a winning record and will conclude the year with a winning record going 17 and 15 in the regular year. 4-0 Utah State.
UC Riverside playing their last game was in the semifinals of the Big West tournament as they lost to Hawaii 66-58. So a little bit of redemption trying to keep their season alive.
Well, it was a 2-point game in that contest, the semifinal against Hawaii with just over 2 minutes to go. You have to believe with the team ravaged by the injuries to conclude this year, a team that played 2 players for 40 minutes, they had only 2 players come off the bench in that semifinal against Hawaii. UC Riverside must have been gassed down the stretch of that contest.
Well, they have 9 suited up tonight. I'm sure that I talked to Coach Margaritis prior to the game. He said, I go, Coach, how many girls are you going to play? He goes, all I need is 5. All I need is 5.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't even know what the lineup is down the stretch tonight. But John Margaritis has been one of the most accomplished coaches in UC Riverside history. Off the missed pull-up jumper from Owodo, Utah State controls with Eliza West, who has a Utah State record 441 career assists, just a junior from Australia. Gorman for 3. Nails the jumper, and Utah State has taken a quick 7-0 lead just over 3 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and Utah State continuing to play man-to-man press. If you're UC Riverside, you just get the ball to your playmaker and clear out and then set up your offense.
The full court press must exhaust UCR down the stretch of this game, I'm sure, as Utah State has a couple more players they can bring off the bench.
And what it does, though, for Utah State is it makes it difficult for Riverside to kind of get in that early offense.
Yeah.
Slows them down, gets that shot clock down low, as we're seeing right now.
Owodo in trouble, sends it out, another shot clock violation. This offense ranked 4th in the league at 62 points per game to UCR. So they ran through the league en route to a 10-6 season in the Big West. And the Highlanders certainly shocked many. Picked to finish 8th, and they wound up 3rd in the Big West. And this team was tied for 2nd in the win-loss column in the Big West standings.
Yeah, they really did surprise. But I'll tell you what, it benefits their early season, preseason. They played such great teams out of the Power 5 conferences. In fact, this is the 5th team out of Utah that UC Riverside has played this year, which is kind of crazy. Who else could they have played? They played maybe, I'm trying to think, there's a team in St. George out there.
Yeah, Southern Utah.
Southern Utah might be the only team they hadn't played.
Yeah, they knocked off Weber State, did UCR, and they sent BYU to overtime. One of the best mid-major clubs in the country are the Cougars. Off the loose ball, Duffy lays it in for Utah State. And we've got a timeout of the floor, just 4.5 minutes into the game, as one of the Highlanders is shaken up. That was back at the other end of the floor.
It looks like it's Tiana Eaton, as we see here on the replay. It looks like she either tweaked a knee or it looks like her left knee. In fact, Eaton was injured earlier this season, had a broken bone in her foot, missed a majority of the conference play.
There's Eaton driving on Gorman there.
It looks like she tripped and kind of had a knee twist there. And the athletic trainers are tending to her as Coach Margaritis is talking to his troops as they're down 9-0. And I'll tell you what, he's really got to stress to the fact to his ladies is we've got to get in our offense. Get the ball to your point guard, clear it out, and go, and then so we can set up in that half-court situation. If not, it's going to be a long night for the Highlanders, being down 9-0 here.
Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham, welcome into the WBI opener, simulcast on Riverside TV and Big West TV. Aggies off to a good start. You have seen UCR throughout the course of this year, and they are led by one of the premier coaches in UCR history and out of the Big West, John Margaritis.
Yeah, John Margaritis is one of those guys. He is one of the best tacticians I've seen in women's college basketball for years. I had a chance to work with him a little bit this summer as I worked the men's basketball camps, and Coach Margaritis was on campus towards the end of summer and had his young ladies the first day of practice. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "We're going to play one-on-one." I said, "Well, okay, so if you want to come watch, come watch." So I watched them. They played one-on-one for an hour or so in the summer. I said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" He goes, "We're going to play 2-on-2." And I said, "Okay," so we did. So then we went through the whole week. He ended up getting 5-on-5 scrimmages, but I'll tell you, the way he had his progression of the way he starts the season and the way he finished the season, that is how he has made this team so good, so competitive, and they seem to play as a very good unit together.
Off a 2-7 start, UC Riverside wound up 15-8 since that sluggish beginning for the Highlanders and finished tied for second in the win-loss column out of the Big West. We just saw Tiana Eaton subbed out with a apparent leg injury. We hope to get an update as soon as we can to you in regards to her injury status. And as a result, a freshman guard from Los Angeles, Lauren Pointer, is checked in for the Highlanders. And she grabs the loose ball and drives inside, does Pointer. And she was hit and fouled against Utah State's Marlene Aniaboso.
Yeah, Lauren Pointer played 25 games as a role player, but a very, very good leader for this Highlander club.
DeKergray buries the three-pointer, and UC Riverside scores their first points of the WBI ever. It's the 10th year that the Women's Basketball Invitational has been established. Yale, the Bulldogs out of the Ivy League, won last year's WBI. And UCR looks to make what would be an incredible run this year in the WBI in their 7th postseason appearance under John Margaritis. DeKergray barrels over the defense and draws a blocking foul. And that's to the chagrin of veteran head coach for Utah State, Jerry Finkbeiner. He is also one of the most accomplished head coaches in Division I basketball. We've got a timeout, or a substitution rather, and a timeout on the floor. And with 4:41 to go first quarter, Utah State leads UCR, the WBI, 9-3. This is Riverside TV and Big West TV right here from Riverside, California.
The City of Riverside has launched Riverside Alert, a mass notification service that allows emergency crews to alert you in the case of an emergency, potential hazard, or safety concern that may directly affect you. When you sign up, you'll receive a message on the voice or text communication method of your choosing. Here's how it works. Begin by creating an account on riversidealert.com. Once you've entered your information, you'll be listed to receive alerts. All information you provide will be kept strictly confidential. Riverside Alert allows you to confirm that you've received an alert to prevent the same alert from coming through again. And you can stop the service at any time by removing your contact information from your profile. It's that easy. Go to riversidealert.com and sign up today.
Welcome back to the Women's Basketball Invitational in postseason play for UC Riverside right here, simulcast on Riverside TV and Big West TV. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham on hand. Glad you're with us. Utah State off to a flying start. The Aggies from Logan, Utah lead UC Riverside 9-3. Malou de Courgray at the foul line for 2 shots. Senior from France, who has been arguably the most improved player in the Big West Conference this year. She has quadrupled her scoring output from a season ago and knocks down both free throws. Malou de Courgray was integral in UCR keeping the Big West semifinal game close back last week with 20 points and their decision against Hawaii. Off the miss, de Courgray reels in the loose ball for the UCR Highlanders, a bit ravaged by injuries to start this ball game. Out Eaton. Cooper throws a pass cross court towards de Courgray, and she gets good positioning there in the corner with Olivia West. Utah State, led by veteran head coach Jerry Finkbeiner. 569 collegiate wins for Finkbeiner as head coach of Utah State, Oral Roberts, and Southern Nazarene. Already top 25 in Division I history for collegiate wins.
Have you ever been to Logan, Utah?
I've been only once. It's a little different out there.
I was there once, and it was about 20 below zero. I have never been so cold. I was colder once. I was in Helena, Montana. It was 48 below zero.
Wow.
But I will say this, Logan, Utah, a great, great place, a great sports town. They support their athletics better than a lot of teams in Utah.
Yeah, I was in some below zero temperatures, and I think I'm still recovering from all the frostbite that you get on there. Now, they recommend you wear gloves and wear clothes, winter clothes. I didn't quite do that.
I see. I go in tank tops and flip-flops, and I'm ready for that weather.
I'm sure you saw some tank tops in Logan in your negative 20-degree temperatures.
Of course I did. I was wearing it.
Duffusy grabs the rebound for Utah State. Loose ball out of bounds off Utah State's Emma Dudley. Shannon Duffusy, a school record for consecutive double-doubles, for a single season record for double-doubles with 18. She averages 1 this year. And Duffusy's off to a fine start for the Aggies. Currently, 2 points and 3 rebounds.
Well, Riverside just shooting 16% so far in this ball game. They're 1 for 7 from the field. So, and to be only down 4, you got to be happy.
Clay, the veteran from Houston, up top to Pointer, pull-up jumper. She nails it from 15. Bring it up for Lauren Pointer. She comes in, averaging 7 minutes a game, but has been thrust into the lineup with some injuries and scores an early basket. West lays it in, and Utah State has taken a 4-point lead. Aggies up 11-7, just about 8 minutes into the game. The WBI, Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham on hand. In a matchup of former conference rivals, Utah State and UCR were in the Big West together from 2001 to 2005. 7th meeting between these two. Both clubs have won 3 times. The Big West, it seems, has changed member schools just about every 3rd or 4th year. Clay travels.
Got a couple new ones coming in fact.
Yeah.
Got Bakersfield coming back to the Big West, and you have UC San Diego who's going to make that transition period to Division I, so there's going to be 2 more teams added to the league.
11 teams in the Big West, huh?
And 11 teams that are 10 other teams that UC Riverside can beat. Tell you what, with Coach Margaritis, I'll tell you, when he has just 1 senior in his program,
true,
and everybody coming back, in fact, including one of their playmakers, Jan and Otto, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. The men, on the other hand, are going to have a very good team. We know Coach David Patrick, who came over from TCU and LSU, one of the best recruiters in the country, has himself dudes, I should say, that are going to be very good next year.
Boy, for John Margaritas to snag a former Mountain West preseason freshman of the year, and Janin Otto is one of, at least on paper, the best accomplishments as of late for the Highlander head coach. To bring her in, knowing that she was a staple for New Mexico, that is very impressive.
Nobody wants to live in Albuquerque. They want to be back in the Inland Empire. She's from Victorville.
Oh, I'm with you. DeKergray is lighting up the scoreboard to begin this game, as she did against Hawaii in the Big West Tournament semifinal. She knocks down a 15-footer, and the lead is 11-9 for Utah State. UCR has gone on a 9-2 extended scoring run down the stretch of this first quarter. Turnover into the hands of Cassidy, the freshman from Lanarka, Cyprus. Pocket pass to Clay. Her shot for the tie is missed, but she is fouled. She got tangled up with Haley Bassett of Utah State, junior from Layton, Utah. And UCR, a club, one of the best teams in the league at free throw shooting, heads of the line, led by Jalen Clay. She's the cousin of TJ Ford, who's the former number 8 pick in the 2003 NBA draft. There's another good recruit for you.
Yeah, it's a great one. Got Chris Dudley in the house, the 16-year veteran in the NBA, most notably out of the Portland Trail Blazers. His daughter plays for Utah State, and I'll tell you, he's giant, still 7-footer, looks like he could still play.
Yeah. Off the miss from Deja Mason. She sends it out to West, who missed the three. And after UCR got off to that poultry start, Jeff, they are back in the ball game with a chance to take the lead to conclude the first quarter.
That would be huge after starting off shooting 16% the first 6 minutes of this quarter.
Cassidy handles the ball off the Utah State full court pressure. John Margaritas, off a timeout midway through the opening quarter, figured out a way to beat that press. 8 seconds to go with the shot clock turned off first quarter. DeKergray motors into the lane, 15-footer on the way. It's short, and the first quarter is over. And UC Riverside turns around a 9-point deficit and ties the ball game at the end of 10 minutes. It's been a thrilling start with some legends, some NBAers. We've got all sorts of crew in the house tonight in what should be a fantastic matchup. We'll have more of the injury to Tiana Eaton when we come back to UC Riverside. We're tied at 11 on Riverside TV, simulcast on Big West TV.
The city of Riverside has launched Riverside Alert, a mass notification service that allows emergency crews to alert you in the case of an emergency, potential hazard, or safety concern that may directly affect you. When you sign up, you'll receive a message on the voice or text communication method of your choosing. Here's how it works. Begin by creating an account on riversidealert.com. Once you've entered your information, you'll be listed to receive alerts. All information you provide will be kept strictly confidential. Riverside Alert allows you to confirm that you've received an alert to prevent the same alert from coming through again. And you can stop the service at any time by removing your contact information from your profile. It's that easy.
Welcome back. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham on hand. This is UC Riverside, the site at SRC Arena, with simulcast Riverside TV and Big West TV of the WBI opener in a matchup of UCR and Utah State. This invitational includes 16 of the premier mid-major Division I NCAA programs in the United States. And for UCR, they got off to a porous start considering they lost arguably one of their best players in Tiana Eaton, the sophomore from Walnut, California. As you saw there, she is shaken up, and we will have the latest on the injury to Eaton as soon as we can. Dangerous pass, poked away by West. Her layup is good, and Utah State reclaims the lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, that is 10 points in the paint for Utah State. UC Riverside with nothing in the paint. They've done everything from the outside. Utah State with 6 points off of turnovers. Riverside shooting just 27% in that first quarter. They were 3 of 11, 1 of 2 beyond the arc. Utah State shot 35% and 1 for 4 from beyond the arc.
Ironically, the road team got off to the better shooting start. Is there such a thing as, that home court advantage to get you that momentum early and the good shooting?
Yeah, very much so. In fact, the Highlanders, I think, over the last 5 years have lost a total of 17 games at home. So they've been pretty dominant here at the SRC.
Yeah, 8-3 this year at home. And that mark, by way of win percentage, that's right up there with UCI and UC Davis. Matched for second in win percentage at home in the Big West Conference.
And another shot clock violation.
Their third.
Yeah, 3 turnovers, costly mistakes. You can't get away without trying to at least get some points. You got to put the ball up. You got to be aware. If you are a point guard, you got to lead this team and let them know how many seconds are on the shot clock.
Winner of this game, the opener of the WBI, tangles the victor of tonight's contest in Denton between North Texas and Texas Rio Grande Valley in the WBI quarterfinals.
Texas Rio Grande, part of the WAC conference. The Wacky WAC teams from Chicago State. They've got Cal Baptist. They've got
New Mexico State.
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
That's why it's called the Wacky WAC.
Well, if UCR is able to pull off what would be a nice comeback down 9 early in the game here, they could tangle with Texas Rio Grande Valley. I'm not sure what the name is of the school, but they would be the next one up. This WBI includes clubs such as Southern Mississippi, Nichols State, North Alabama, Georgia State, Akron, Coastal Carolina. The type of teams that are in this invitational are some of the best mid-major clubs in basketball.
It's a great opportunity for these teams that have a lot of players coming back, and I think that's really the choice of these the coaching staffs is if we have a lot of young players coming back, it's good to get them into the postseason, get that experience, gain a little confidence going into next year's season.
Steph Gorman, as we saw there, freshman from Australia, knocks down the three-pointer, and Utah State has claimed a 5-point lead again. Drive from Awodo, and she is hit and fouled, that time by Steph Gorman of the Aggies. Utah State in the postseason for the first time since 2011, or rather, looking for their first postseason win since 2011. My apologies, when they knocked off Arizona, 103-95. UC Riverside's in their 7th postseason appearance, winner of 3 Big West tournament titles and 2 regular season championships under John Margaritas. In the corner, there's Pointer. Missed the shot, weak side rebound to Brewster of Utah State. Aggies rim run, early second quarter of 18-13. Dangerous pass, it sails past the reach of Gorman. Turnover Utah State, that is their 5th. Sloppy contest, and we have seen it across just in the Big West tournament. There's a difference between the regular year and the post year. Entry pass to Awodo, who blows the layup. Rebound pulled in by Shannon Duffusy. It's been that type of start for UC Riverside.
Yeah, they just haven't seemed to get it going offensively. Other than Takira Gray, she's got 7 points for the Highlanders. It's kind of been by committee, and that committee needs to pick it up pretty quickly here.
Yeah. Aggies come into this contest bottom half in the league in scoring at under 62 points a game. That foul on Kalani Cooper, sophomore from Murrieta, California. But UC Riverside certainly should give them a test, considering they are one of the best defenses in the Big West Conference statistically, and are also a club that can win healthy. Of course, a different story this year, control the glass. Corner pocket, the 3 is short by Gorman. UCR controls. Cooper, a dangerous pass. UCR commits their 8th turnover. In transition, layup from Harris. Extends the Aggie lead to 7. And now Owodo loses the handle of the ball. Luckily, UCR controls with Niago, who has been quiet to start this contest. DeKergray off the dribble, missed the 12-footer. The rebound to Harris of Utah State. UCR suffers another one and done, Jeff, and a 20-13 Aggie lead.
Yeah, they just don't seem to be in rhythm, and they're without the services of Tiana Eaton, who's going to not play the rest of the game. She's on crutches, now sitting at the end of the bench, hurting her left knee. She's told she will not return tonight.
She registered 3 double-doubles earlier this year. Jumper short by Cooper. Utah State finished the first quarter out rebounding UCR by 1, and they may have just increased in that ledger so far in the second. Under 6 minutes to go first half of the WBI opener. That jumper, a long 2-point shot for Shannon Duffusy, is good. Coming in, one of the top shooters in the Mountain West is Duffusy at 44% from the floor and over 30% from distance this year, the junior from Australia.
You keep saying Australia.
Yeah.
A lot of Aussies on this team.
Ironically, they've only got 3 players from Utah. This matches Utah State's largest lead of the contest. They jumped out to a 9-0 lead. UCR came back to tie the contest at 11. And here is DeKergray to inbound for UC Riverside. Malou DeKergray, her dad, Loic, won the 2002 national championship in volleyball with France. It's part of a long list of solid recruits with John Margaritas. Aggies can't seem to miss in the second quarter from the floor. Outstanding effort. Backdoor cut for West, lost it out of bounds. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham, the WBI opener. Glad you're with us. Simulcast on Riverside TV and Big West TV in postseason play for UCR for the 7th time under John Margaritas. In the forecourt, Cassidy handles for the Highlanders. Jumper from Pointer sails over the rim. Behind the back pass for West, and Duffusy buries the 3-pointer. A dazzling pass from Aliza West, the all-time assist leader in Utah State history. That was a thing of beauty, Jeff, as Utah State leads by 12.
Yeah, that's going to cost them. I mean, it's going to be tough without your scorers in the ball game. Coach Marguerite is going to have to pull some magic here as they take this full timeout.
25-13 Aggies. UCR basketball with Riverside TV and Big West TV. Back in a moment.
The city of Riverside has launched Riverside Alert, a mass notification service that allows emergency crews to alert you in the case of an emergency, potential hazard, or safety concern that may directly affect you. When you sign up, you'll receive a message on the voice or text communication method of your choosing. Here's how it works. Begin by creating an account on riversidealert.com. Once you've entered your information, you'll be listed to receive alerts. All information you provide will be kept strictly confidential. Riverside Alert allows you to confirm that you've received an alert to prevent the same alert from coming through again. And you can stop the service at any time by removing your contact information from your profile. It's that easy. Go to riversidealert.com and sign up today.
Welcome back. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham. The WBI opener features UCR and Utah State. Aggies up 12 midway second quarter. It's March Madness, folks. We're here in the greatest time of the year for college basketball. Jeff, did you fill your bracket out quite yet?
Darn right, I have one sheet of integrity. I only fill out one sheet, and I stick to that sheet.
One?
Oh, yes, I stick to that one sheet, and I live and die by it. My wife and I play. It's key in our household. We play for chores for a month, so whoever loses the brackets has to do the chores for the month.
Wow.
So, of course, she always loses, so she has to do all the chores.
Oh, why would you put her out like
no,
that?
but see, the thing is that you can say all you want, but we have 3 boys at home, so she just makes them do it. So really, technically, she gets out of it either way.
Well, see, the nuts thing is there is 9 quintillion different options. As the 3 is good by Awodo, it's her first triple of the ball game. And for some people out there, not me, they don't choose UCR to win the whole thing. But in March Madness, it's been every year. Whoever's hot, whoever's playing well, whoever's healthy.
I'm going to go UC Irvine just because they played the Highlanders 3 times this season.
Yeah.
And if they win it all, I can say it was because they played UCR.
West explodes past the Kurgray and lays it in. Early player of the game nod should be for this excellent junior who began the second quarter with a dazzling behind-the-back pass, and here she is with a pickpocket and a finish.
Yeah, she's all over the court defensively, offensively. She's in the passing lanes. A very good ball player, the junior from Australia.
She's statistically not the greatest shooter, not the greatest rebounder, but her passing and her defense is second to none, at least as we have seen so far in the first half, as the Kurgray is headed to the line for UC Riverside, a 27-16 lead for the Aggies. Aliza West, she is quite something, and just a junior guard. She returns, as does a majority of Utah State's named personnel, named minutes getters for their one last year as a senior. The Kurgray at the foul line. The lone senior for UC Riverside missed the free throw. Coming off an excellent performance of the semifinal against Hawaii. And she'll conclude her career, will DeKurgray, as West lays it in again. DeKurgray will conclude her career as a much improved player and certainly should at least get a look to play professionally, should she not?
She definitely has an opportunity. But DeKurgray is going to get her master's. She's going to be a scholar. She got accepted to the university back east, and she's going to pursue her academic prowess
Well, if you're talking about academic prowess, UCR is not a bad institution either.
No, but when you move on and you go to those Ivy League schools, you can't pass up that opportunity. I know will be on scholarship. As we talk about the men's program, the brain trust of the UCR men's basketball program are sitting behind the bench behind UCR. There they are. There's David Patrick, Coach Cheppel, Coach Magpio, and Justin Bell, all here supporting the Lady Highlanders. And I'll tell you what, that guy right there, David Patrick, has himself a full cupboard next fall.
Yeah.
Got some great players coming in. He has some guys already in the system and guys that really made impacts this year. Dikembe Martin, who's going to be a senior out of John W. North High School. Callum McRae, the big-time freshman out of New Zealand. Dragon Elkaz out of Australia. And Zach Watson out of Texas. So those 4 freshmen, or 3 freshmen along with Dikembe Martin. And building upon that, I look to see that Coach Patrick will improve. And I think they're going to really have an opportunity to play for a Big West championship next season.
Every year it seems that there are some contenders out of this Big West Conference, but over the last 5 years, the winner has been either Davis or Irvine, if I'm not mistaken, for the regular season title.
And they've had 7 different champions until this past season when UC Irvine broke that streak. So hopefully next year UC Riverside can get back on that winning program and make it to the big dance.
They've certainly turned around the program over the last couple years. Dazzling near finish for DeKurgray. She missed the shot, but snuck through 2 defenders. And Iago off the loose ball, draws the foul on Utah State. Highlanders, it appears they may have a full cupboard as well, considering looking at just their roster, they've got a transfer from LMU, a former Moore League 3-time champion Ayana Barnes, Skylar Lewis from Grand Terrace, is expected, if I'm not mistaken, to join UCR next year.
Yeah, great players. And like I said, Coach Margaritis always finds that diamond in the rough. And talking about Janin Otto, who's injured right now, she's sitting at the end of the bench.
Well. Yes.
Sitting with Miss Eaton, one of the best offensive players in the conference. Also a big-time advocate, suffers from diabetes. I shouldn't say suffer because she does so well, but a big advocate of the disease and shows young ladies across the Inland Empire, across the country, that you're able to play with a slight disability with diabetes, a big-time player, and a diamond in the rough that Coach Margaritis brought over from New Mexico.
Niago lays it in for UCR. 31-20 is the lead for Utah State. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham, the WBI opener features your Highlanders of UC Riverside and the Aggies of Utah State from Logan. Lindsey Jensen-Baker checks in the game for the ladies in dark blue. Eliza West, an incredible performance so far today. Dumps the Duffusy. Backdoor cut is stolen. UCR has been opportunistic on defense. The Kergray dumps it towards Pointer, who slows it down for UCR. Cooper to the basket is fouled inside by Duffusy. And Kalane Cooper from nearby Vista Murrieta High School heads to the line for UCR.
Hey, did you go to school with her? You're a Vista Murrieta guy.
I might have. I do the math. I was 5 years ago. She was 2 years ago.
Now, see, I'm not a math guy. Heck, I went to Berkeley, for gosh sake. You think I'd be a smart guy?
You did?
Yeah, but no, math.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Math was never my strong suit, but I could write a paper better than anyone.
You could talk a storm, I hear as well.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I can talk. I don't know if I talk up a storm, but I can talk a lot. That's what my friends tell me.
Cooper missed the free throw. Well, the Broncos of Vista Murrieta have been a bit of a pipeline for UC Riverside, at least it appears, over the years, and some other Big West schools. JW North, another one for UCR. Backdoor cut taken by Duffusy, hands off inside to Baker, and she is fouled. Kalani Cooper, the aforementioned sophomore, commits the personal. That is her second personal, the third team foul with under a minute to go first half. 31-20 is the lead for Utah State in the opener of the WBI. The Women's Basketball Invitational featuring 16 of the premier mid-major clubs in Division I basketball. The winner of this game, with a date and time to be determined, tangles the victor of North Texas and Texas Rio Grande Valley. The game underway currently in Denton.
That's just too many letters for a college right there. University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. That's five different letters.
Isn't there that school in Indiana, IUPUI, too?
Yeah,
falls out of bounds.
That's goofy. That's
I don't know what it is, but
I never want to call a game there just because I don't want to have to say the name over and over and over. And I can't say IUPI or whatever it is that many times fast.
I just want to call games in Riverside. That's all I want to do.
That's all I care about as well. I love being a Highlander. Love calling the women here, as they have had a great season, getting to play in postseason, a great experience for these young ladies.
Yeah, Highlanders will have a winning record regardless of tonight's result to conclude this year. It's yet another winning record for John Margaritis. That three is good by Lindsey Jensen-Baker. She had 10 points scored the entire season coming in. Knocks down another jumper, and the Aggies have taken their largest lead of the ball game into the halftime locker room, up 36-20. A terrific first half performance for the Aggies on offense.
Yeah, and honestly, when you lose players, the injury bug has hit UC Riverside. When you play this many games, you're going to suffer injuries, but it's really tough when Tiana Eaton, it looks like she suffered her second injury of the season. And then Janin Otto, their leading scorer, not playing the last 5+ games. It has been hard. UC Riverside has adjusted well, but it's going to be tough here, down 16.
Highlanders and Aggies in a terrific opener of the WBI. Two of the premier mid-major clubs in all of Division I basketball. Utah State a strong start against the Highlanders in Riverside. Halftime numbers and a preview of the second half coming up momentarily as we are simulcast tonight on Riverside TV and Big West TV. Glad you're with us. We'll be back in a moment. The Aggies lead the Highlanders by 16.
The City of Riverside has launched Riverside Alert, a mass notification service that allows emergency crews to alert you in the case of an emergency, potential hazard, or safety concern that may directly affect you. When you sign up, you'll receive a message on the voice or text communication method of your choosing. Here's how it works. Begin by creating an account on riversidealert.com. Once you've entered your information, you'll be listed to receive alerts. All information you provide will be kept strictly confidential. Riverside Alert allows you to confirm that you've received an alert to prevent the same alert from coming through again. And you can stop the service at any time by removing your contact information from your profile. It's that easy. Go to riversidealert.com and sign up today.
The City of Riverside's Public Works Department has always been dedicated to improving our residents' quality of life. With Measure Z funding, we're able to invest more in the community. $2.8 million per year has been dedicated to improving the roads and streets throughout the city. This is equal to 70 miles of pavement preservation treatments or 6 miles of completely resurfaced roads every year through 2021. This is your tax dollars at work.
Do you have unneeded prescription medications and don't know what to do with them? CVS Pharmacy and the Riverside Police Department have a safe and secure drop box located inside the Magnolia Police Station. This free and anonymous service keeps dangerous prescriptions out of the hands of children and abusers while protecting the environment through proper disposal. Most over-the-counter and prescription medications are safe to drop off, however there are some restrictions. Items such as thermometers, inhalers, aerosol cans, ointments, lotions or liquids, and needles and sharps must be disposed of elsewhere. And please, residential clients only. This service is not for businesses to dispose of their medical waste. Help the City of Riverside keep dangerous prescriptions out of the hands of children and abusers by disposing your unneeded drugs in a safe, secure, and environmentally friendly way.
We were hungry for pizza and milkshakes. Luckily, we found Mod Pizza in Riverside. They have freshly prepared pizzas and salads served in a friendly, casual environment. You can choose from their specialty combinations, or you can just make up your own. You can even build your own salad. In mere minutes, we had stone-fired pizzas straight from the oven. She ordered the Dylan James, a take on the classic margarita, and I tried the Caspian barbecue chicken. Both were great. And for dessert, we tried their handmade milkshakes, which were awesome, and so were their no-name cakes. Mod Pizza is a great, fast, fresh option for lunch, indulgent snacking, or just dinner with the kids.
Auto burglaries are a crime of opportunity, and we at the Riverside Police Department want to encourage you to follow a few key guidelines that can greatly reduce your likelihood of becoming a victim. The first step to preventing any auto theft or burglary is to always remember to lock your vehicle. Also, always keep any valuable items out of sight, preferably in the trunk or the back of the vehicle where they cannot easily be seen. The most common auto burglary is a simple smash and grab. Thieves are looking for a quick and easy target, and keeping your property out of reach is your strongest deterrent to this type of attack. Finally, keep your windows rolled all the way up, even in hot weather. You may be tempted to leave your window cracked, but it is surprisingly easy for thieves just to force the window down and take your property. So remember these key steps to discourage auto burglaries. Keep all valuables out of sight, lock your vehicle whenever it is unattended, and keep your windows fully closed. We at the Riverside Police Department encourage you to follow these simple steps and keep your vehicle and property safe and secure.
Right with the back and forth, right back and forth, like fuck up what you asking for, but you're back and forth, like but is your man still back at home? He ain't that important, like you ain't really seen it like that before, not like that before. You like when you put it like that, like that, like that, like that. You right? I'm about to have to backtrack, back on back. You right? You right? You right? You right?
Riverside on 212.
Riverside.
Storytime is one of the most important programs the library offers each week. We offer it at all 8 library locations, and we offer it to a variety of age groups. We offer a baby toddler program, we offer a preschool readiness program, we offer a family story time, and a bilingual story time.
Storytime is very family friendly, so moms or dads, whoever brings the child, sit and they participate all together. So like when we do our stories, we try to choose stories that will involve everybody so they can talk about animal sounds or the instruments. The parents get an instrument as well so they can participate along with the child.
It gives the parents and the kids a chance to socialize amongst each other. And the parents really enjoy that sense of community.
Having everyone involved kind of gets the kids more excited about story time and learning and reading and playing and singing.
All of these story times are geared at teaching children the basic skills they need for school. They can come here, they can get those basic skills, how to sing songs, how to follow basic directions, and be able to go into kindergarten ready to start school.
Grab a calendar or look online, check out the calendar for the whole city library and see the activities that we have going on. Go and participate because all the branches are making an effort to make sure we bring things to the community that the community wants and needs. No sign-ups required. Just come through our doors, be here, and ready to go, and ready to have fun.
My love for basketball has always been there. My mom was a coach, so she would always take me to the gym with her. She was big on basketball, so she'd always have it playing on TV. You know, something that was always there in my life. So when I was 12, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. That's probably like the most pivotal moment in my life. Before, I feel like you're so carefree. You could just eat whatever and not think about it. I remember crying. Like, I felt so bad for myself, and it's crazy to think about like how much it made me like realize how blessed I am to even like be able to be diagnosed or be able to have insulin to like keep me alive and healthy. There was never a point where I was like, oh, I'm diabetic, I can't do this. And my mom, I feel like she was really an important person. She was like, no, you could do whatever. She was like, you might have to do it differently, but you can still do it. And it's really helped me be balanced, helped me play like how anyone else plays.
When Janin was recruited to transfer here, the coaches were aware of her type 1 diabetes, and so we had a sit down so that I could make sure that the coaching staff was prepared and to make sure that we had everything in place so that she could be successful here.
She's, I would say, the most important person for me here. She checks on me so much. She really is like my second mom.
So which arm? This one? This one, yeah. So how are you today?
I feel good.
Have you done your numbers yet?
She wants to make sure that younger kids don't feel like this is something that's going to limit them, that they can still be an athlete, they can still go on and play Division I. One of the things that I really like about her is that she is so open about being a type 1 diabetic, but also the fact that there are people struggling to even get their basic medical supplies for being diabetics, and that's something that she's really passionate about, and I love that about her. Janin is very healthy. She does a lot of extra workouts, she does a lot of conditioning. She's been playing basketball most of her life, and she hasn't let being a type 1 diabetic stand in her way. But for the most part, she's just like every single other player on the court.
My teammates are like my sisters. I really feel like we care about each other and we care about each other's success. It didn't go viral, but now we're like best friends. Did you lift already? Yeah, like she has my back, I feel like, a lot. She's always there for me. At home, you're with them. When you come to school, you're with them. It's fun, you know? It's like you're living with your family or something. Oh my God. I try to do the same thing every day. I just stick to a schedule or plan ahead for like class. I always get fruit. Fruit's my thing. Yeah. You have to really be prepared with your meals, with your snacks. It's good to have stuff like this so you can get snacks if you need it. It has a low glycemic index, it says that. So that's supposed to be good for like your blood sugar. Those are my favorite. My family isn't well off, so having a way to support getting an education was the goal for me, because without basketball, I don't think my mom would have been able to like put me through college. So I just feel like blessed to be in this position, honestly, and like you have so much at UCR that you can use for your future. I feel like sharing your story is important. Everyone has a platform to spread awareness about the issues that they face. It kind of like warms my heart just to know people are interested in it or they care about knowing more. I want them to say, like, oh, she has diabetes and she's playing basketball. I mean, if that's like...
Welcome into the WBI opening round of the Riverside tournament here in the NCAA. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham on hand. Glad you're with us. We're at the half. Utah State, a commanding second quarter performance. Aggies, after we were tied at 11, pulled away to lead 36-20 at the break.
And it's been because of turnovers. UC Riverside with 13 turnovers, 17 points off of those turnovers Utah State was able to convert on. But the big number that stood out for me is they've got 20 points in the paint. UC Riverside with only 4. Coach Margaritis will make the adjustments. They will be a lot better in the second half because he's that kind of coach. But they're without 2 of their superstars, Janin Otto and Tiana Eaton, who suffered a knee injury. There, as we're looking here in the highlights.
That was very early, less than 5 minutes into the game. Eaton went down, certainly changed the complexion of the first half of this contest. As for Utah State, you mentioned the assist coming into this half, where the Aggies controlled that department, and they were led by Eliza West, who had a dazzling first 2 quarters of this ball game.
Aliza West, about the size of an action figure, a tiny little player out there, but was commanding of that very high potent offense, putting up 36 points, and a lot of it was because of her. She got some steals. She played both ends of the floor. She was in the passing lanes. She was able to dribble, penetrate, kick it to her players, able to finish around the basket, which was a big, big half for that young lady, the junior, out of Australia.
We're in the Women's Basketball Invitational. Welcome back, simulcast in this contest on Riverside TV and Big West TV. We bring you what is the opening round of the postseason for the NCAA. We're in March Madness. It's that time of year where the Highlanders, they're playing for an opportunity to advance and gather some more postseason experience of what they hope to be a big run next year in the Big West Conference. You give them a good chance, do you, Jeff, of the Highlanders advancing in the Big West tournament?
Well, I think next year with Coach Margaritis, anything is possible. You know, he's been in the tournament 7 times, I should say 7 postseason appearances, 3 NCAA, the Big Dance tournament. And I'll tell you what, he's got everybody coming back except their talented Takir Gray, the senior, everyone back, and a good recruiting core coming in. They're going to be very, very good next season.
Clay missed the layup, but UCR controls the offensive glass. And that continues what is a struggling performance from the floor for the Highlanders. Takir Gray missed the shot, but Clay taps it in on the follow. And the junior from Houston, Texas, scores her first points of the ball game.
And remember, in the Big West preseason poll, UC Riverside was picked 8th. They ended up being tied technically for 2nd place. That in itself should give Coach Margaritis Coach of the Year.
Well, I'd be all for it. And for John Margaritis, he's averaging over 15 wins a year and certainly has the resume to win his 3rd Big West Conference Coach of the Year award. Turnover, Utah State's. Turnovers were an issue for UC Riverside in that first half, committing 13 of them, Aggies with 8. If the Highlanders are able to overcome some of the early miscues, this is a club that overcame a 9-point deficit early. They have all the tools to overcome as much as a 16-point halftime deficit, currently at 12. Drive from Rena Owodu, and she lays it in, continuing a 6-0 scoring run to begin the second half. Timeout, Jerry Finkbeiner and Utah State.
Yeah, and you got to like what Coach Margaritis did on that to start the second half. He's put the ball in Takir Gray's hands, taking it out of the point guard's spot, able to get the ball up the floor, run their offense. They're attacking the baseline. You got to like what they've started off here so far.
Well, we'll keep it right here. Aggies up by 10, early 3rd quarter. Utah State has done a sensational job from the floor. What have you seen in the first 2 quarters where they shot 50% and a very similar number to start this 3rd quarter?
Well, I think that it got UC Riverside off balance. You know, they showed a full court man press. Riverside, by the time they got past half court, they were already, you know, under the gun, so to speak. Couldn't run their offense. When you can get the ball past half court, you can run your offense efficiently because you can see the defense break down. If there's less time, you have less breakdowns. Coach Margaritis, I know, wants to push the pace, get it in his half-court set, and try to overtake the passing lanes of Utah State, which are a very good defensive team, and attack the baseline like we just saw, or draw 2 defenders and possibly get a couple outside shots. That is something they did not do well in the first half, but start off here great here in the second half.
Yeah, Utah State shooting 63% in the second quarter and outscored UCR in that second frame, 25-9. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham, the WBI opener. Winner tangles the Mean Green of North Texas in the next round, most likely in Denton, after their victory over Texas Rio Grande Valley just a bit ago.
You said Texas Rio Grande Valley again. That is a long.
I can't believe I've said that again.
That's a long-winded sentence. I'm telling you, they need to rechange the name of the school. Just name it like Fred. Fred University out of Texas, not all that other stuff.
They're next to a Riverside as well. I don't know if they were contemplating that.
A pretty good crowd here, though, believe it or not, for being rainy weather and finals week.
Yep.
Finals week, so just to see the band is here playing well.
And when did UCR know they would play? maybe a day or two ago.
It was just announced, I believe on Sunday evening.
Or on Sunday, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was not in the fold as Duffusy lays it in off the dribble, and Utah State leads by 12, 2 minutes into the third quarter. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham, the WBI opener. Highlanders have shown some fight in the second half. To the rim is Cooper. Missed the shot, but Niago lays it in on the follow.
Niago, the talented freshman who was also a Big West Player of the Week earlier this season. And I like what Coach Marguerite's done. Getting the ball in the front court, run your offense, get plenty of time, get it over the timeline in 3-4 seconds, then run your offense. Very good adjustment here made in the second half.
Yeah, Brewster was fouled by Cooper there. This season, Daphne Niago is averaging 7 points and 4th in the league in boards at 7.5 per game, considering she's got 3 more years to go. The former French lady, she's got a chance to certainly take over for the losses in the next year or two of players such as Jana Otto, and Malou DeCourgray.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Malou DeCourgray, you talked about her earlier, the most improved player I saw all season long from a season ago, has really turned herself into a very offensive-minded player and has really kind of picked up the pace since Otto's gone down.
7th in the league in shooting is Niago at 47% this year. She handles the ball, swings left to Awodo, it changes gears and lays it in. 40-30. Utah State was up by as much as 16 at the half. West with 5 assists, dishes, layup good by Rachel Brewster.
And that's not good.
Again, Malou DeCourgray.
Looks like she might have twisted an ankle as we can look here on the replay. Looks like she stepped on the offensive player's ankle. Hopefully she will be okay. If not, then...
Well, I mean, whoever is choosing who's going down with these injuries, they couldn't have picked 3 worse players in terms of how they would negatively impact them going out, the UCR team.
And you'd hate to see DeCourgray finish her college career as an injury, as she is obviously in pain, being tended by the training.
We saw earlier today, for those of you who didn't join us, less than 5 minutes into the game, an excellent sophomore guard from Walnut, California, Tiana Eaton, was the second of the major players on this roster to go down with an injury. She has been sidelined. Jana Otto missed the last 5 games with an injury. And Malou DeCourgray, another double-digit scorer. She is out as of now. And certainly doesn't appear as though she may return anytime soon.
Looks like that right ankle. She's grabbing it. And the great training staff here at UC Riverside, the best in the world, I'll tell you what. And it's athletic training month, so we got to always support and mention those wonderful people behind the scenes that keep those great student athletes here at UC Riverside healthy.
This UCR club ran into a bit of a buzzsaw. Utah State playing their best basketball right now. Aggies, since they sputtered out the gate going 2-5 to start the year, they come into this contest winners of 5 of 6 as Utah State's. Their lone loss throughout that stretch was in the tournament to the hands of Wyoming at the Thomas and Mack Center. Utah State's one of the best defenses in the Mountain West, and they have made their impact today, holding the Highlanders to 30 with 6:35 to go in the third quarter. Clay chases the offensive rebound. She is then tangled up inside by way of Haley Bassett and draws the foul on the junior from Layton, Utah. She registers her second personal and the third team foul with 6:31 to go in the third quarter. Glad you're with us. The WBI opener, simulcast on Riverside TV and Big West TV. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham. It's the Aggies by 12.
Yeah, the athletic training staff working overtime tonight.
Pointer, the 3. She nails it in the corner. And the freshman from Los Angeles is having one of her best statistical performances of the year. And they've needed it as UCR. Now she is 2 for 4 with a triple as well. 5 points for the freshman. Foul line drive for Marlene, and she takes a tumble inside but is fouled. That time yet again by Kalani Cooper. The sophomore has gotten into foul trouble now with her 4th personal. And the 4th team foul on UCR, down by 9, less than 4 minutes in third quarter. But John Margaritis, the head coach of UCR, may not have any choice but to keep Kalani Cooper with 4 personals in the game.
He might have to suit up Coach Margaritis. He might, hopefully he has a uniform underneath his.
Free throw from the left elbow for Marlene Aniambasu.
Yeah, that's a little different there.
We have seen all sorts of superstitions. College basketball in the NBA. Players will stand a couple feet behind the line, stand to the side. We've seen some granny shots in college basketball.
We had a young lady. We had a young lady played for Hawaii about 2 weeks ago here in this building. She shot with one hand, and she rotated with the right hand and the left hand every other free throw. Shot literally with one hand. It was the most bizarre thing I had ever seen in a women's college basketball game.
Right when you say that, I'm sure something else will happen we may see through this game.
That was pretty weird, though, what we just saw.
She didn't hit the free throw, but she did connect on the follow. Walking foul on Rachel Brewster. She's beside herself as the senior guard. Her first. 3rd team foul. Well, UCR is hanging in the ball game, Jeff, down 11.
Yeah, you got to be happy. They're down 16 and kind of looked like it was over going into halftime, but Coach Margaritis making adjustments with a depleted roster here.
The freshman missed the shot but was fouled. That was Lauren Pointer, and she'll head to the line. That time, Olivia West, the junior, garners her 2nd personal foul. Glad you're with us. The WBI opener between UC Riverside and Utah State. One of these teams will win their first ever WBI game and take on North Texas this coming weekend, either Friday or Saturday, with a date and location along with tip-off time to be determined. Freshman hits the first free throw. Lauren Pointer. Well, we have raved about some of these upperclassmen and their future, and they certainly appear to be well on their way to making a bigger contribution. But this freshman, Lauren Pointer, who didn't seek much playing time a majority of the year, she has made the most of her limited opportunities today.
And that's why you play in these postseason tournaments. You know you have a good group of young ladies coming back next season. Why not get them season playing postseason?
Cooper, count it, and a foul.
And
she appears to be postseason ready. A chance for a 3-point play.
And to gain that confidence in the very, very tough Big West Conference. I don't think they're going to be picked 8th this next season.
I got a gut feeling. John Margaritis, interesting to consider that he has been one of the most successful coaches in this conference, and to receive an 8th ranking had to have been motivation. Maybe first couple games, I'm sure it lost his mind soon after, but motivation that I've done it before at a high level, and he just proved it again.
I think he's one of those guys. It's we before me. You know, they always play together as a unit. He never stresses certain players. It's always about the team. And I'll tell you, they played a Power 5 conference to start this season. And I'll tell you, they played some really good teams. We're talking about, they played USC, BYU you mentioned, Oregon, Cal Baptist, who's playing another postseason tournament.
Right now,
yeah. So they played a very grueling preseason. And I really think that's what got them into this got them competitive in the Big West this season by playing those big-time programs.
UCR against the big-time program trimmed a 16-point lead to 6. We're at the midway point of the third quarter. Utah State 44, UC Riverside 38. Back in a moment. This is simulcast tonight on Riverside TV.
We need to make sure our seniors are safe with consistent, proper nutrition and healthy foods delivered to their homes.
Elderly patients who do not have proper nutrition have a higher risk of irregular heart rhythms and sepsis.
Riverside's Meals on Wheels program can always use your help. If you can volunteer or donate, you can visit our website and get more information how you can participate, and we thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Brent Wilczynski.
Of UC Riverside, and just a reminder, during the month of March, athletic trainers across America are being recognized for their commitment to helping people prevent injuries and stay healthy and active. Athletic trainers are health care professionals, highly educated and dedicated to the job at hand. Athletic trainers can be found in high schools and colleges, corporations, professional sports, the military, performing arts, clinics, hospitals, and physicians' offices. They provide compassionate care for all. UC Riverside would like to salute the following athletic trainers for providing quality health care for our athletes every single day: Tony Ontiveros, Jessica Hunt, Mark Espinosa, Rachel Purcell, Rafi Carpio, and Jillian Christian.
Quite the read there, Jeff.
Hey, it was my guy, Tony Ontiveros. And it's definitely, they've had their hands full tonight with the injuries. And so far, with two of their top players going down tonight.
That jumper by Brewster is short. We have seen Marlene snare 3 offensive rebounds on that sequence. Sensational performance for Marlene Aniambasu, junior from Benin in Central Africa. She came in playing less than 9 minutes a game, averaging 2 boards. She grabbed 3 offensively on that sequence. Entry pass, Duffusy, scoop layup is short. Loose ball taken by Niago of UC Riverside. Highlanders up the floor, shooting much better. Charge, offensive foul on Cooper. She used that move one too many times.
Did you say Central Africa?
I did. I looked it up, Google Maps, you know.
No, I'll tell you what, when I was the basketball coach at RCC, Riverside City College, back in the day, I had to go pick up a player from Senegal, Africa, and bring him over to play for me at RCC. I had to get shots and everything. I got off the plane. I was hanging out in some really scary looking places, and my guy Mohamed Kamara showed up out of nowhere, 7-footer, and I brought him back to the States. I never want to go back. I'll tell you what,
wow.
It was something like out of Black Hawk Down. I was a little worried, but the kid ended up coming over. Was a great player at San Diego State and a great player at Riverside City College.
You know, you had me fooled for a second thinking that 7-foot kid from UC Irvine back a couple of years ago.
Oh, he was 7'8".
Or 7'8", from the Senegal.
Went to Senegal, picked up Mohamed Kamara. I was in West Africa, beautiful part, a beach area, but I'll tell you, I didn't want to wander off too everybody had guns.
You know, but not all superheroes wear capes, and you came over there and you made an impact on that guy's life.
Yeah, I had him living with me for about a year, and my son, who's 12 now, is little, and he would watch Mohammed eat two dozen hot dogs in at one sitting and a gallon of milk, and thought it was the funniest thing you'd ever saw. Yeah,
I mean, what a culture shock.
Oh, it was definitely. He ate me out of house and home. My wife was like, "No, we got to get him out of here. He's costing us hundreds and hundreds every month."
Yeah,
no, good time though. But wow, coming over from Africa, you got to applaud that young lady.
West attacks and dumps inside, intended for Marlene, taken by Pointer. The freshman having maybe her best ball game of the year, throws inside to Clay, who lays it in. We've got a 2-point ball game.
Great pass from Pointer. Pointer's coming out partying tonight. I'll tell you what, she's telling Coach Marguerite, "Coach, you got to play me. I'm ready."
Utah State led by 16 at the half. On the drive is West, gallops into the lane, missed the shot, loose ball tipped off last by way of Niago of UC Riverside with 2:53 to go third quarter. Glad you're with us on what has been a fascinating ball game where the Highlanders have never led, but were tied on several occasions. Eliza West, the all-time career assist leader in Utah State history, handles the ball. And Duffusy dumps 10-foot jumper all the way. A bit strong by way of Harris. Pointer nods. She may be a freshman, but she shows some confidence, showing facial signals. Niago missed the shot, tipped in on the follow by Clay. The junior from Houston averaged 1.5 points per game coming in, but she's been a force and has tied the game at 44. We just saw a quick look at the injured Molu de Kergray. She's the second player for UCR injured and out for tonight's contest.
And hello, Clay. She's molded herself into a player tonight.
No foul as the loose ball's tipped off the hands of Shannon Duffasey, who lays it in off the terrific pass from West. She registers another assist. Averaging 5.5 a game, she's got 6 assists. Niago changes gears. The 3 for the lead for Pointer is a bit strong. She may have been a bit too anxious on that 3-point shot. Niago tangled up after that miss. We saw Pointer, the freshman this year, 29% from distance, but she airmailed that 3.
You know what I like, though, is I just watched the interaction between Pointer and Coach Margarides, and he was just telling her, he said, you know, she took that shot, it didn't go in, but he showed her exactly, you know, next time where to shoot it in the shooting pocket, and gave her some encouragement there. And I'll tell you what, Pointer needs to continue to shoot, gain this confidence, because right now they're in an opportunity to move on in this tournament, and they're going to need her.
And every round of this tournament is 40 more minutes for these players to get that much better in turn for next year, in hopes of winning the Big West Conference Tournament, where they were oh so close to knocking off the Wahine of Hawaii, down 2, less than 2.5 to go in that game, the semifinal. Playing 5-on-4, entry pass to Clay is a bit high, taken by way of Steph Gorman of Utah State, a team that is 0-2 in their history in the WBI. This is the first trip ever for UCR in this Women's Basketball Invitational. Clay saves the ball, and UCR controls. Owodu lays it in. This has been an incredible game. And finals week nonetheless. West attacks, reverse layup is good. She faked the pass inside for Gorman and took it herself over 2 defenders.
She's now in double figures with 10.
Yeah, how about Aliza West? Her efforts today to the tune of 10 points, 6 assists, 3 steals, only 2 turnovers as well. Handling the ball for a majority of the game. 2-for-1 chance averted by the Highlanders, down 4. Cassidy missed the 3. Clay the rebound with the shot clock turned off, and she lays it in on the follow. Jalen Clay, Jeff, is growing up before our very eyes as she scores yet again, now with 8 points.
Yeah, Clay, I'll tell you what, they're picking up by addition of subtraction. Some of these ladies are stepping up big. Pointer and Clay.
That 3 is good by Gorman at the buzzer.
Yeah,
and Utah State takes a 5-point lead.
A great quarter, though, from the Highlanders. Remember, they were down 16.5, really cutting this to this deficit. A great quarter. Let's see if they can carry this momentum.
Now, Utah State in that third quarter was outscored by the tally of 23-17. Aggies are up 5 with the fourth quarter coming up. Back for more UC Riverside basketball in the postseason coming up just next on Riverside TV, simulcast on Big West TV.
I ain't with the back and forth, I ain't back and forth, fuck up what you asking for, but you're back and forth, but is she a man still back at home? He ain't that important, you ain't really seen it like that before, you like, when you put it like that, you right, I'm about to have to backtrack, I gon' back, you right.
The City of Riverside's Public Works Department has always been dedicated to improving our residents' quality of life. With Measure Z funding, we're able to invest more in the community. $2.8 million per year has been dedicated to improving the roads and streets throughout the city. This is equal to 70 miles of pavement preservation treatments or 6 miles of completely resurfaced roads every year through 2021. This is your tax dollars at work.
Big West TV, Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham on hand. UC Riverside down by 16 at the half, outscored the Aggies 28-17 in that third quarter, and are back within 5 with the fourth quarter, and Eliza West handling the ball for an Aggies club. They certainly appeared, down did Riverside, 2 starters in this game to be well within control. West is blocked, but now Utah State scrambling to hang on.
Yeah, Riverside now shooting for the game 42%. Remember, they had that, they're shooting 16% in that first quarter. They have really picked it up.
Now the Highlanders in that third quarter were at 56%. The three from Gorman is short. Loose ball taken by way of Awodo. Highlanders down 2 possessions. They trail by 16 at the half. Now the Highlanders settle in. One of the top offenses in the league was UC Riverside. Awodo misses the 3. And the loose ball is taken by Dudley, playing some of her first minutes of the year. The freshman from Rancho Santa Fe, California. With 9 minutes to go in the ballgame. Duffusy, a dangerous pass, and Utah State commits the turnover. Their 14th. Blocking foul is the call with our officials Esther Sue, Jen Zylstra, and Charisse Okamoto. That was Esther who made the call. That was a bang-bang play, and the officials indeed give UC Riverside the foul there.
That looked like a roller derby foul.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Pointer gave her a hip check like the old school roller derby center as we watch here in the replay. Bam!
Yeah. Third personal on Olivia West of Utah State. Jumper is short. This has been played like, hey, these two teams used to be conference rivals as they were in the early 2000s. Physical contest. Shows the type of fight of this club. Both clubs are moving forward. Coming into the 2019-2020 season. We get an inside look at some of these players that will seek more minutes next year. Utah State, a sputtering effort in the second half from the floor. West missed the shot. Loose ball taken by Eliza West. Shovels the pass to Duffusy, who missed that jumper. Gorman back to Duffusy, who missed the shot but was fouled. Utah State garnered their 15th and 16th offensive rebound on that sequence.
Yeah, they are definitely aggressive on the boards. As UC Riverside looking a little tired, but what can you expect?
Yeah.
Everybody's hurt. They got to play by committee now, and they got to play a lot of minutes.
We saw in the semifinal loss against Hawaii, UC Riverside, they only allowed 2 players to come off the bench, and that was for a grand total of 5 minutes. Otherwise, every starter played essentially the entire game. That free throw good by Duffusy. She splits the pair. Utah State up 54-48 to the WBI. Foul called on West. Winner battles North Texas in the makings of what should be a contest in Denton, Texas this coming weekend.
Have you ever been to Denton, Texas?
You know, I have once as well.
I was there once. I tore my hamstring. I tried to water ski in Denton, Texas.
What?
Yeah, listen to this. First time I ever water ski, I tore my hammy. I was out for like 4 months from doing anything. And I remember laying in the water there, and I was surrounded by alligator gar. Do you know what those are?
No idea.
They're a prehistoric looking fish with these giant teeth. They almost look like barracuda, freshwater barracuda. They look like snakes. Thick skin. I was scared to death. I was laying there in the water, surrounded by these crazy fish with a torn hamstring. Wow. I never want to go to Denton, Texas again.
Oh, come on.
Nope. I will not do it. I choose not to go to Denton. I will drive around Denton.
You drive around Denton. I have never seen so many lakes anywhere. And I'm from Florida.
As they say on Seinfeld, I was an anti-dentite. I'm an anti-denton. There is no way I'm ever going there again. Yeah, lakes everywhere. And they're full of alligator gar. So Nick, don't swim in those lakes. You might get bit by an alligator gar. I'm going to show you a picture on our break.
Oh, how
what they
about
look
that?
like.
Well, I'm sure this is the exact thing UC Riverside wants to hear, knowing that they would play them there this coming weekend.
They better not swim in the lakes.
Awodo kicks to the corner for Cassiope, who cans the three-pointer. The freshman was a 20% three-point shooter coming into the game, and in rhythm, she knocks down the triple. Utah State up 55-51.
Big-time shot there.
Almost as big time as this picture you're showing me right here.
Alligator gar right there. Scary-looking creature. I was surrounded by him.
As if any alligator creature is not scary. West kicks to Duffusy, who buries the three-pointer. West registers, that is her 7th assist of the ball game. She's nearing a double-double in a fashion that very few players have done. She did once this year, did West, with 10 points and 10 assists. And this is a sensational player, Aliza West, a former Mountain West Freshman Player of the Year. West.
Just some down under.
Yeah, down under. You think they have one or two of those alligator crocs?
Alligator gar?
Gars, yeah.
No. That's just strictly in Denton, Texas.
Yeah. Pocket pass inside to Nago and missed the shot. And Utah State runs up the floor with a trip to Denton on the line this coming weekend. Aggies by 7 with just over 6 minutes to go in the ballgame. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham. This is the WBI opener. Both teams searching for their first ever win of the WBI. Utah State 0-2. This is the first trip for the Highlanders. Duffusy, 12-footer on the way, missed it short. Rebound to Clay, she's got another one. And up the floor, that is Cassiope. Inside towards Nago and missed the shot. Cassiepe's in the corner. Foul line jumper, Clay. It bounces in. They've got some rubber on that rim. I can't understand how that thing rolled around. It got caught in the back heel of the rim and drops for the veteran from Houston, who is having one of her best games ever as a UCR Highlander, who are within 5 with 5.5 to go. We're in for a thrilling finish, and it's coming up next on Riverside TV and simulcast on Big West TV. Utah State leads 58-53.
The City of Riverside's Public Works Department has always been dedicated to improving our residents' quality of life. With Measure Z funding, we're able to invest more in the community. $2.8 million per year has been dedicated to improving the roads and streets throughout the city. This is equal to 70 miles of pavement preservation treatments or 6 miles of completely resurfaced roads every year through 2021. This is your tax dollars at work.
Welcome back. The WBI opener is coming down to what should be a thrilling finish. Aggies 58, Highlanders 53, in what is a contest that, as we head to another timeout, we'll be back in a moment, could come down to a battle between who has the ball last. We'll see. We'll take a look at more of it, along with a look at the stats when we return yet again. This is Riverside TV and simulcast on Big West TV.
The City of Riverside has launched Riverside Alert, a mass notification service that allows emergency crews to alert you in the case of an emergency, potential hazard, or safety concern that may directly affect you. When you sign up, you'll receive a message on the voice or text communication.
Welcome back, Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham from a timeout. 5:32 to go in the ball game. UCR's Tiana Eaton played just 4 minutes, and one of the top players on the team went down with an injury, and she was out for this game. Then early second half, Malou DeKergray, arguably the next best player on the team, went down with an injury. And since that moment, UCR has responded, outscoring the Aggies by 11. And they have trimmed a 16-point deficit to 5 with just over 5 minutes to go in the ball game. UC Riverside has beaten some good teams this year, but this, in my eyes, would be the most impressive performance of the entire year. Drive and kick west in the corner for Harris, who buries the three-pointer, does the sophomore from Danville, Kentucky. Down now 3 starters for UC Riverside in this fourth quarter. The fact the Highlanders are in this game says something about John Margaritis and this Highlanders club and their resolve. Spinning into the lane, that is Niago. Count it, and a foul. That was an incredible shot from the redshirt freshman.
Yeah, Niago, nice to see her kind of get back into it now. 3 Highlanders in double figures, and that young lady right there could be a catalyst to get them into the next round.
This has sparked career performances for players such as Jalen Clay, a season-high 12-6 for the junior out of Houston, Texas for UC Riverside. We just saw the N1 for Niago, who's now 3 for 8 with 10 points and 13 rebounds. Jumper for Duffy missed the shot. She was wide open. And now Riverside's up the floor, down by 6 late in the ball game. The freshman Pointer off the dribble. She couldn't get it to go off of 3 bounces off the rim. Utah State controls. Aggies out rebounding the Highlanders by 7. West to the rack. Sends it out towards Gorman for 3. She missed it. Clay the rebound. Thrilling finish we're in store for. This may come down to who has the ball last. Backdoor cut, Awodo. Highlanders in the ball game are shooting 40%. Aggies 41%. Wodo is hitting foul, that time by Gorman. And she notches her 4th personal, and that sends Awodo to the line. UC Riverside is in the bonus for the remainder of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Riverside on the year shooting from the free throw line, 68%. None more important than right now.
Missed the shot, the France native, Marina Awodo. Highlanders in the ball game from the foul line are 13 for 20, right around their season average. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham, the WBI opener. Second free throw is good. Utah State in this second half has shot under 28%. Duffy the 3. She nails it again. Timeout. Sean Margaritis and UC Riverside. Highlanders within 8 still with 3:32 to go. But Duffy, who has caught fire from the long line, hard to cover. Someone who can not only man the middle, a double-double machine so far this year is Shannon Duffy, but she nails yet another 3. That is her 3rd on 5 tries.
Yeah, and Utah State has done a couple of really good things tonight. Is they're able, the guards are able to dribble, penetrate. They're drawing those 2 defenders, and West and everybody as a collective are finding the open player, and they're hitting open shots. And that's really what's propelled them here in the second half to keep them ahead of the Highlanders, because the Highlanders have given them everything here in the second half.
Now Shannon Duffy 1 rebound shy of a school record 19 double-doubles this year. She had 9 in a row against the Mountain West, and with 3:32 to go, her 17 points along with 3 triples has given the Aggies a 64-56 lead. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham, 3:23 to go in the ball game. 64-56, turnover for Awodo, taken by the aforementioned Duffy, who now has 2 steals on her ledger along with a block. Duffy certainly appears to be a potential professional player with her performances throughout the course of this year, and certainly could be mentioned among the best players in the Mountain West when this season's said and done. Aggies with a short shot clock. Gorman dumps it in the paints with 2 to shoot. That hook shot is good by Deja Mason. The senior from San Antonio, Texas, scores her first points of the game.
Yeah, good move with the left hand. A Bill Walton post move.
Yeah. I thought Alligator Nar was the only old school thing we're going to see tonight.
No.
Owodo scores. Count it, and a foul. Excellent fourth quarter for the junior forward Marina Owodo. And she has kept UCR in the game. Old-fashioned three-point play. And fouling out is Utah State's Steph Gorman. She's seen her final minutes. UCR hopes to not see their final minutes of the season tonight. Highlanders and Aggies in a matchup of 2 winning clubs. And the WBI, which matches 16 of the best teams in mid-major college basketball for this year. Winner tangles North Texas and Denton this coming weekend. Marina Owodo, 65% of the foul line this year. With UCR down by 8, pressure-packed attempt on the way for the junior, and she missed it, back iron. Loose ball's taken by Pointer. Fresh shot clock, UCR. Owodo tees up a 3. Missed it, back iron, long rebound chase, and Pointer couldn't corral it into the hands of Harris for Utah State. Do you foul if you're UCR, Jeff, or just let them play?
No, you got to play. You got to go a little longer. You can if you're Riverside, because you only have 2 team fouls. You want to definitely get them in the bonus. So, yeah, you could use a few fouls here, but the only problem is, how many players does UCR have left? You don't want to foul them out too quickly here. But, yeah, they're going to have to foul just to get in that bonus to force Utah State to go to the free throw line.
Shot is blocked by Owodo at the buzzer. This has been a coming out party for Marina Owodo as well in this fourth quarter. Her shot blocking, her playmaking, and for the junior, she'll inbound with an 8-point Utah State lead. We have a timeout called by John Margaritis and UC Riverside. They've got none left with 1:42 to go in this fourth quarter. So the Highlanders have the ball, Jeff, and they've got to make up 3 scores.
Well, they've got to hurry. They got to have a hurry-up offense. I don't think you need a 3. I think you need to attack the basket. You got to go for the 2. Then you got to quickly foul on the inbound. You got to tell your young ladies, know who has fouls, know who to foul. I'm sure the assistant coaches are saying foul such and such, but it's got to be a quick foul, and you've got to do it 2 more times just to get in the bonus. But you've got to attack the basket first. You don't want to settle for 3s. Get back into this ball game. You get it to within 3, then you worry about it then. But you've got to attack the basket.
Well, you see Riverside with just 3.7 threes per game. They're one of the league's worst in that category at hitting 3-pointers. They just don't attempt them. And UCR against the full court pressure, trails by 8. Loose ball. Foul called against. Was that yes, that was Utah State's Aliza West. Bang, bang play as we saw Owodo barrel over West. And that'll send Pointer to the foul line. The freshman coming in 4 for 8 of the charity stripe this season, playing very few minutes. She only had 2 minutes against Hawaii and averages 7 a game. Was Lauren Pointer. 2 very critical free throws for the Highlanders, down 8. Under 2 minutes to go in the game. She missed that one.
Very key. He can't miss free throws down the stretch.
Pressure packed attempt. Pointer, high arcing shot. That's good. 66-59. Utah State, 1:37 to go. Still a 3-score game. Full court pressure for the Highlanders. Aggies have now just 5 seconds to get it across, and West does. One of the best point guards in the Mountain West has had a sensational performance today. A shot here would just about ice this game. Aggies up 7. Olivia West cut off with 8 to shoot. Up top towards Eliza West. Splits a double team. Kicks to an open Emmy Harris. Left the 3 short. Clay the rebound. 1 minute to go in the game. Highlanders on the attack. Long 2-point shot for Awodo is long. Clay then goes over the back. Emmy Harris draws the foul. And with 54 seconds to go, Utah State takes over. This was a thrilling game where the Highlanders nearly erased the 16-point deficit late in this second half. UCR down 7. They're searching for a bit of a miracle here. Inbound to Harris. Highlanders aren't fouling, and now they aren't getting up. That's Daphne Niago, who is shaken up on the floor. She is the 3rd player seeking assistance from the training staff today, or at least may have. She gets on her feet.
And now I think Coach Marguerite just wants the season to get over. He doesn't want to lose any more players to injuries.
Well, it's unfortunate. I mean, you certainly are glad to make the WNBI and play in the postseason again, but the Highlanders, with so many minutes over the course of this year for some of these players, it certainly has to have taken a toll over this year.
Yeah, when you play this many games, I mean, heck, you're gonna get tired, and injuries do occur when you do play some of the games. You look at the end of the bench, as you see DeCurr Gray finish out her great, stellar career here.
Oh, she's still in the game, by the way. Sorry not to cut you off there, but Niago's still in.
No, she's tough.
Yeah.
But you look at the end of the bench, you see DeCurr Gray still getting wrapped up.
A lot of empty chairs at the end of that bench.
You have Tiana Eaton injury and the leading scorer Gianninato all hanging out at the end of the bench there.
Utah State struggling to get that ball across, and they did not. 10-second violation for the Aggies. UC Riverside, league worst 3.7 triples per game. They've only got 119 this year, and they may need to throw one up. Down by 7. They were 3 for 16 against Hawaii, and today they are 4 for 11 as UCR. Utah State may get the ball here.
I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, me too. Potentially, there could be a different rule for the WBI than that of the normal season, and we'll figure this out during the break. Utah State up by 7. UCR's got a chance here on Riverside TV and Big West TV. Back in a moment.
The City of Riverside's Public Works Department has always been dedicated to improving our residents' quality of life. With Measure Z funding, we're able to invest more in the community. $2.8 million per year has been dedicated to improving the roads and streets throughout the city. This is equal to 70 miles of pavement preservation treatments or 6 miles of completely resurfaced roads every year through 2021. This is your tax dollars at work.
The City of Riverside has launched Riverside Alert, a mass notification service that allows emergency crews to alert you in the case of an emergency, potential hazard, or safety concern that may directly affect you. When you sign up, you'll receive a message on the voice or text communication method of your choosing. Here's how it works. Begin by creating an account on riversidealert.com. Once you've entered your information, you'll be listed to receive alerts. All information you provide will be kept strictly confidential. Riverside Alert allows you to confirm that you've received an alert to prevent the same alert.
Welcome back. We did not get any further explanation, unfortunately, of that most recent sequence. However, Utah State gets it across the timeline within 13 seconds. Layup is good by West. And Utah State puts the capper on what was a fine year and a fine start to the postseason. Utah State is on their way to their first win of the WBI ever. They were 0-2. This Women's Basketball Invitational was established 10 years ago. They lost in 2013 and 2017, but pick up a win today and are set to battle North Texas in the great city of Denton.
Avoid the alligator gar, ladies.
That three for Cassaby is no good. And a foul is called on the terrific Shannon Duffy, who, if I'm not mistaken, will be a rebound short of her 19th double-double this year. We see different Highlanders potentially playing professional basketball. Utah State's got two in my eyes. Aliza West, the excellent point guard who plays like a Rajon Rondo out there on the floor. A floor general unlike any I've seen in the Mountain West this year. And then you've got Shannon Duffy, who's just a board short of another double-double on a fine performance.
Yeah, and they really, I'm going to say this, UC Riverside really capped off a very good season. Picked 8th. We talked about this going into the game. And finishing up 2nd, they had a great year. Janinato was awesome. Kachira finished out her great career here. You couldn't ask for a better situation. It just was tough that you had so many injuries at the end. It really cost them the season.
I mean, UCR started 2-7. They played teams such as Oregon, USC, BYU, Oklahoma State. I mean, just the best teams, Texas A&M, that you could ask for in the country. They turned it around. The Highlanders went on a couple 4-game win streaks en route to a winning season. But Utah State knocks them off in their own building. Highlanders down 3 starters to injuries. They've got an off-season to get healthy in preparation for the 2019 campaign. Utah State, the winner, 68-60. Riverside concludes the season 17-16. Utah State, with a 17-15 record, are set to tangle the North Texas Mean Green this coming weekend. Thank you for watching all year for Highlanders women's basketball, and WVI concludes with a 68-60 decision against Utah State. For Jeff Gorman and the rest of our crew, this is Nick Price saying thanks so much for watching another edition of UC Riverside basketball. Good night from SRC Arena in Riverside on Riverside TV and Big West TV. Good night.